All right, we're live. How's the audio? Hope everything is clear and concise. Let me know if that audio is working correctly. So we're gonna analyze the market. We have S&P 500 showing some weakness at the moment, and we will get to Chainlink. We got some big news on Chainlink. Some of you guys that are holding Chainlink got big news. But until then, yeah, let's get on with the analysis here. First off, S&P 500 starting to consolidate here, right? And it looks like we're weakening. We'll probably come back to this midpoint on the RSI. We're slowing a little bit. A lot of rotations going on in the market. You got, cloud compute, not cloud computing. You got the quantum computing jolt at the moment. We can go over a couple of those. But I wanted to first give an analysis on why we're in the early innings of this bull market. We're still in the early innings, okay? If we zoom out, we're still in the early innings. I think first half we're gonna have a strong push higher, and probably end of the year rally as usual. You get a strong December rally because nobody wants to sell their gains until January, right? I know a lot of you guys don't want to sell your gains till January, so I think that's what we're looking at. As a highlight, we got Tesla pushing to all-time highs here, trying to consolidate at these all-time highs and push higher. I think we're going to get it. Probably end of the year rally. I mean, it's strong. There's a lot of animal spirits, a lot of hype. Some of it's real. A lot of it will carry over, but we're still in the early innings. I think we go all the way through summer pullbacks, bullishness and pullbacks all the way through the summer before we kind of slow down into the actual tariff policy, right? That's always been our big risk here is the tariffs, but those ain't going to hit till next year, probably near the end of the year. We're not going to see tariffs implemented more than likely until the end of the year. Currently, a lot of stocks are pulling back. There's not a whole lot of breath at the moment. We're about halfway through, but let's get started. Let me see. What do we got? What up, your residents? Okay, we got a couple of people stepping in. What do you guys want to hear about? I want to do a little macro review before we hit the charts. Let's do a little bit of macro review, and we're going to turn to the slides here because this is a bullish setup. So pay attention. Jump on YouTube if you want to see the whole thing. So again, you're probably, I don't know if you're getting this stuff, but anywhere else, but I want to make sure that we understand there is a strong macro backdrop, one of the strongest that we've seen. And this is at the beginning of a bull market, very beginning of a bull market. So we're going to go through these slides. Might take 10, 15 minutes. This will be like an hour. We'll go through the charts right after, right? First and foremost, the Trump effect. Okay. The stock market wants earnings, right? It wants lower yields, fair interest rates. The stock market wants liquidity. That's what pushes it higher. Innovation, we're getting that. Quantum computing, blockchain technology, AI, everything is ramping forward, but now business growth is exploding. Expectations and sentiment for businesses is picking up. And this is the Trump effect. We got the optimism, the NFIB business optimism index. It takes a bunch of businesses, ask them, what is your sentiment on XYZ? The main point here is, are you going to expand your business? And we saw the biggest reading since 2021, right? Biggest reading in 3.5 years for business optimism, just so happened to be in the month of November when Trump was elected. What can we offer this to, right? Why are we seeing this? Well, because everybody's focused on the tariffs, but guess what? Tax cuts, that's probably the biggest thing. Tax cuts down to 15%. Are you kidding me? This is very bullish for the stock market. You're getting tax cuts. On top of that, you're getting deregulation. On top of that, you're getting boosts for crypto. On top of that, right? There's thing after thing after thing. It sounds too good to be true. We'll see if the Doge community, right, can actually get efficiency in the government. If we can get the spending down, but keep the efficiency up. So the Trump effect is here. That's number one. Number two, we're seeing high risk taking in the market. This is the chart of high beta stocks versus low beta stocks, right? They're overlaid. And what you're seeing here is that high beta, things that move faster than the S&P 500 are in an uptrend. They're trending higher. Therefore, it's more, you're going to get bigger gains if you're taking not more risk, but if you're, the big gains are happening in these higher risk, long duration assets, or as you could say, just, they have high growth, right? They're riskier, they have high growth. But in this environment, when business optimism is big, there's a lot of money, interest rates are coming down, you're going to get more high beta. So we're seeing that. Next, cyclicals are outperforming. Oh, I'm sorry. I know the sun jumped to the way. Cyclicals are outperforming defensive. And this is cyclical companies, as in things that people, things that people purchase that are non-essential, whether it's cars, whether it's housing, right? Whether it's, who knows what it is. There's a lot of cyclical stocks we can go over, but cyclical stocks are going to pick up momentum when the economy or the cycle is expected to pick up and strengthen. And we're seeing that also. So risk on, this is all just risk on. That's why crypto's up. And I think crypto's the best bet here, over the next 6-12 months. That could change. We'll see how things turn out. So cyclical stocks going higher. I know somebody mentions Shiba coin, not really interested in those trash coins. Now we know Chainlink is the main coin. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about Chainlink at the end. Okay, so one of the metrics here, Bitcoin, going to 100K. Tom Lee is calling out 250K Bitcoin by the end of 2025 or throughout the year. That's a double? That's more than a double, right? It's 150% increase in Bitcoin. What's that going to do to alts? Where's Ethereum? If Bitcoin goes 250, Ethereum, we're looking at probably 12,000 Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum's going to outpace Bitcoin at some point, right? It just hasn't caught up yet, but it's going to catch up. So Bitcoin optimism, right? This is risk on. Why does the risk continue? And here's the economic stuff that nobody's really talking about. Or, well, yeah, they are. It's just they're talking in this crazy lingo. So let's break it down a little simpler. Okay, inflation is going lower. Let me remove myself. I know you guys can't see that, but inflation is going lower. Shelter is the second biggest component to inflation. So you can see at the bottom there, shelter is it's the biggest component to the CPI basket. Every single metric for shelter is rolling over. And this is not today or tomorrow. This is over the next 6 months. Shelter lags. So we're going to see this continue to roll over. This is the rate of change of rental prices. It's not just, shelter itself. It's not just the price. It's everything is slowing. So CPI is going lower, regardless of what you've heard. CPI is coming lower. Okay, now that I see, okay, here we go. Now look at CPI. Does it look like CPI is trending higher? I know a lot of people are saying, oh my God, inflation is hot because you get a bump higher. How many bumps did we get in the last year? 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's lower. So we're getting small. If this was a stock, if you were doing technical analysis, you wouldn't bet this is going up. You would say this is in a downtrend, but all of a sudden, one bump higher in inflation in line with expectations. Inflation's going higher next year. No, I don't think so. I think it's going lower because shelter is going to drag things lower. It's very heavily weighted. So CPI is going lower. The next biggest component to inflation, and inflation is important. Why? Because it's macro spring. If inflation continues to cool, you're in the most risk-taking environment that you can be in. Stocks riskier, high, I hate saying the word risky. High beta stocks, cyclical stocks, or cyclical assets are in demand. They're going to outperform for sure. Okay. I know the camera's all messed up. I'll try to fix that. So inflation's coming lower. That's the point. And yes, used cars did turn up a little bit, but they're negative. So they're below zero. So they turned up from zero, which means they're still falling in price. Okay. Number 2, the leading inflation metrics here, the ISM. Okay. ISM, which is the Institute of Supply Chain Management. These are supply chain prices, or the supply chain manager saying, hey, look, prices are lower next month, or they're going to be higher next month. Well, they're trending lower, and these lead inflation going forward. These always lead inflation. So, supply chain prices are not pointing, and you can look at manufacturing in the black. I believe black is manufacturing. Yeah, manufacturing is just rolling over. It's not a recession either, because we saw the ISM new orders picking up. So next year, we expect that new business optimism to actually translate into the ISM and start seeing goods pick up. And what does that mean? More jobs, more growth, more GDP, and services are already strong, right? Service inflation is not really moving. It's kind of slowing down. No inflation here, right? Risk on. Next, food inflation. Okay, I'll try to turn the camera here for TikTok. Food inflation is flat. Food inflation is flat. There's no inflation here. Okay. Is it sticky? Sure. Okay, great. The stock market's not going to roll over because food is sticky. Doesn't care, right? We don't care about Nestle earnings. We're looking at growth stocks. We're looking at Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Tesla, Nvidia, blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto. We're looking at the high risk, high growth stuff. We don't care about food inflation. That's irrelevant. Gas, we do care about. We do care about gas inflation. That's a big deal because gasoline goes into every single component almost at this point of the economy, and gasoline is falling. Inflation is falling, and I can't make a promise on that, but my bet 90% we're much lower next year, right? Oh, you had a bump higher. Great. We're going lower. Okay. Now moving to the labor market. And the reason inflation matters is because the Fed's going to cut. The Fed's going to keep cutting or pause at a low rate. Rates are rolling over, and we're going to see more of that going forward. The labor market is also softening. Okay. What do I mean by that? On the left, we have non-farm payrolls, right? They're not collapsing. They're still expanding. We're still adding hundreds of thousands of jobs, not last month, but we're still adding hundreds of thousands of jobs each month. So we're not falling apart, but the trend is obviously lower on the right-hand side, right? The big term trend is lower. So the Fed's going to cut rates because things are loosening, they're easing, they're cooling, and they need to make sure that growth is maintained. They're looking at the employment report, right? They're looking at keeping how do I say this? Making sure that we have lower prices, which we're starting to see now. Inflation's down, and maximum employment, but employment is slipping little by little. It's cooling. And yeah, that business optimism is up, but the Fed's still cutting, very bullish for the market, right? It's almost a good thing that business optimism is down. I'm sorry, labor market is cooling. Also, unemployment is rising. Yes, it took it stopped for a while, but it's still going up, which means usually we get a recession. I don't think we see a recession. We might slow down a lot. I don't know at this point. We can't predict the future, but we know with Trump's policies and with the Fed cutting rates, it's almost impossible that we're going to see a recession without some kind of external shock. Not going to happen. All right. Now, for the big one, and I know this is hard to conceive, but the world is cutting interest rates, right? Not only is the US cutting rates, China's cutting rates, Europe's cutting rates, Canada just cut rates, Switzerland just cut rates. Everybody is cutting interest rates. This is the cycle too. It's just the beginning, right? The first time we started cutting rates, which means it's high, it's more liquidity here. This is fuel for the markets. And on the right-hand corner, we have financial conditions starting to ease. And what does that actually mean? Well, how hard is it to grow your GDP? How hard is it to grow GDP? Well, if everyone's cutting rates, things are loosening, right? Because you can borrow more money, you can finance more growth across the world, then it's easy to grow GDP. It becomes a lot easier. We're below that line, which is a zero bound, meaning financial conditions are very loose. So the Fed probably cuts one or two more times. We'll see what happens. And then they stop from there. Is that inflationary? No, it's not inflation. You need a lot more to get inflation right back up. That's not going to happen. All right. Next. So this is all bullish. Here's the tricky part, right? I know this is going to be hard to digest. But basically, I think we're going to get the next impulse of growth for Bitcoin jumping to 120K. That's my next target. 120. As long as we hold 100, Bitcoin goes to 120K. Tesla runs to 440, 450, probably 460 before it slows down and pulls back tremendously. Right? Chainlink 33. But I think we're going to get that next impulse when we get the rate market, the interest rate market actually come back into balance with the Fed's rates. The Fed is cutting, they're loosening, but the interest rate market, the bond market, the treasury market, which is a whole, mess of things, which is takes a lot of education. I'm going to make it simple. The interest rate market is not agreeing with the Fed at the moment, and that's fine because it's really tracking inflation. And if we go back, I think you can see my mouse here. If we go back, once inflation peaked, you had rates going up. Why? Because rates are looking at inflation and growth, right? Which one is the bigger risk? And if growth and inflation are falling, bonds bid up. But this is not bonds. These are rates. So they move in opposite direction, which is why I said it's going to take some time to digest this, right? The point is interest rates peak once they realize CPI has peaked. So you see the drag or the lag when CPI peaks, interest rates finally peak and roll over. Interest rates peak, CPI peaks, interest rates peak and roll over. So what do you think the interest rate market is looking at? It's waiting to see, is inflation going to peak? Is it going to roll over? That could happen January, February. We don't know. As soon as it peaks and rolls over, rates are going to collapse to follow the Fed. And that is more fuel, very much, very bullish for the risk asset complex. Oops, I didn't mean to go back. Dang it. How do I go backwards? right? So we're waiting for the rate market. I really think it's going to come down to, we're talking housing, mortgage market, mortgage rates also. I think it's going to come down to those rates actually chasing back down towards the Fed to kick in the super bull market that who knows when it comes. End of December, it might be crazy and you need a breather. It could be you get a correction in January, February, and then March it takes off. We don't know. But this is setting up for another vicious rally. I don't come on here very often because I know when there's a vicious rally starting to stir up, I believe I can see it. And we've called it for the rest, for so long. Maybe we've been 9 out of 10, vicious bull market. All this stuff is hitting at once. This is the macro backdrop. It's very strong, and we should see that continue. Now, looking at now moving over to the sectors, bulls are really not that bullish, right? The market's actually not that bullish, and we're looking at basically how many stocks in the S&P 500 are moving above their 50-day moving average, and only 5 of 11 sectors are up, right, or have at least 50% of their stocks in that sector moving above the 50-day moving average. All it means is we're not actually extremely bullish. We're not there yet. We're not at euphoric levels yet. Once this really starts to take up, maybe we'll get to 9 sectors over 50%. Then we can say, okay, massive pullback. We're not at that massive correction yet. We're just not there yet. I'm watching these positioning sentiment indicators. We're not there yet. Okay. And here's another one. This is bullish sentiment, and it actually dropped from week to week, right? From last week to this week, Thursday over Thursday, bullish sentiment actually came down. We're not that bullish yet, meaning there's more. Ooh, but I'm bullish on this CCIP, Chainlink, but there's more to come. So there's a lot of bullishness that we can see. I'm going to keep it on this chart. Let me throw myself on there before we get to the charts. Let me get to these comments real quick. What up, Beebs? Pepe, is Pepe moving or what? You hear those reports about Trump wanting to, we're going to go over this actually. You hear those reports about Trump wanting to see BTC go to 150. Apparently, he uses the stock market as a gauge of his performance. Great to add BTC to that Bitcoin strategic reserve, likely, in my opinion, 100% big. I mean, that's the whole idea with crypto here. And let me go ahead and take this off, and we'll actually throw the charts on here. The whole idea here is that, the Trump bump is boosting everyone. Yeah, Chainlink, let's go. The Trump bump is boosting pretty much everything. Dang, I can't even get to the charts. All right, so we'll throw on Chainlink because there's a lot of good news. I'm sure the whole TikTok crowd's going to jump on as soon as they see the charts bullish. That's all they chase most of the time. I know some of you guys are actually paying attention. We do have a nice Tesla breakout. It's trying to consolidate at the highs. But let's turn to crypto. I don't know how many times I've had to say it. Maybe we got 6 more months. The strongest bull market that is sustainable after NVIDIA and AI is crypto. The cycles are vicious to the upside, and we're starting to get that. And, regulation has been subdued. It's been, murky. Nobody likes it. And now everybody's in it. Now you have Trump. Oh, Bitcoin back below. Ah, damn it. Come on, Bitcoin. And now you have Trump's organization, his DeFi project, purchasing Chainlink. So here we got Bitcoin. Dang it. I got to move the sun. Hold on. You guys are not going to be able to see on here. Let me see. I shouldn't have doubted the sun getting in the way. All right. Well, we're fine right there. So yeah, Bitcoin, we're looking for Bitcoin to get above or hold this 100K level. A lot of leverage here. Okay. There is a lot of leverage. Let me go on the daily chart. And we're bumping against it. The longer we bump against this 100K level, if we pull back, we probably hold like 90,000. But the longer we bump against this level, the more likely we are to break out. Do you do any stuff on chain? I do not. I don't mess with on chain. I'm not that smart, Biggs. I'm not smart enough to be on chain. I'm online too much as it is. I look at computers too much as it is. So too sophisticated for me right now. I know some people do, but I still think it's a wild west. So I'm just like, I'll trust the big projects, right? Let's see. So yeah, Bitcoin bumping against that 100K level, trying to break out. But the big news here, we're going to jump over to it. Let's see what some of these coins are doing actually. Ethereum, you got XRP. I don't know why everybody wants XRP. I told them there's no narrative in XRP. I mean, kind of, but it's not that strong. Solana pulling back, BNB. All right. But the big story here is you got Chainlink. getting vertical off this line. And what's happening here, let's see if I can get over to find it. Donald Trump's World Liberty, right? It's called World Liberty. It is a decentralized application. I mean, he has a whole website and everything. Shaping a new era for DeFi. Watch, I'll throw it on here really quick. So this is his website. What is this popping up for? This is his this is basically the website. It is World Liberty, and whatever they do, I haven't really looked into it too much. I'm pretty sure they're trying to on ramp stable coins and create some kind of token. I really don't know. I haven't looked too deep into it, but they're saying we're leading a financial revolution, dismantling the stranglehold. Oh no, do not turn on of traditional financial institutions. This is just very this just speaks to the validation. This is just validating that DeFi is here, right? The president is literally creating a DeFi coin and ecosystem, right? And what they're doing also here is they're buying Chainlink. So we can see on chain, which is so powerful, that they've purchased up to $2 million. Yesterday they did $1 million of Chainlink. Now they're up to 2 million of Chainlink. So they're buying Ethereum, and then they have stable coins. They have wrapped Bitcoin, whatever that is, and they have Chainlink and then Aave. So if that doesn't make you bullish, I don't know what does for Chainlink, which is Donald Trump is literally buying Chainlink. It's not like he's going in there and buying it himself, but basically his organization, right? His DeFi project, his business is purchasing Chainlink. So that's extremely bullish here, and that's why the charts are trying to break out. Now, I wish it would go off a little crazier, right? Get some of that XRP type of pump, but a lot of people just are not familiar with Chainlink. So not yet, right? Not yet. And this is the only coin that has actual partnerships working with the biggest financial institutions, and that was what was on the slide, which is SWIFT, the global messaging payment system. They're onboarding oracles inside of their code, inside of their system, because they're going to actually be tokenizing their entire process, right? They're tokenizing their process of moving transactions from bank to bank. So until that information really gets clear, that's really why Chainlink is going higher, because that's very bullish news, but everybody's going to bid off of Trump's buying it. That's what they're really buying the coin off. But when they realize why he's buying it, it's going to go a lot higher, because we're looking at quadrillions of transactions here. Okay. Now we'll go through a couple. Let's do some TA on a couple things, right? First off, Chainlink, I think what we're going to do, we either hit this resistance, we're done. We start to cool off end of January. This came up pretty quick, or we break out of this trend. So let's go ahead and draw this out. Or we break out of this trend, we find support on the trend, and then we make a completely new, we create a completely new uptrend, which is that real banana zone uptrend, right? That is going to go vertical. And if we get that, we're looking at something like this. That's where you really get the extreme moves to the upside. And we're looking at a $300 chain. No, I'm just kidding. We're looking at $100 and probably $80 Chainlink if we can get vertical in here over the next 4 months, right? That's pretty bullish. To be a little more conservative, we're probably looking at over the next 3 months, maybe all-time highs, maybe like 50, right? Maybe 50, because we are overheating on the RSI. But with crypto, it really doesn't matter. Once you're in the bull season, once you're in that macro spring, you go straight up for a while, the RSI will hold, right? Just like back here, the RSI will hold for a while. And I'd say it's probably more comparable to this. So we go a little vertical, maybe we go to all-time highs, come back to 33, and then we just keep grinding higher. I don't know how quick this is going to be. The last cycle ended quick, but guess what? This cycle for Chainlink is getting real adoption. There's not another asset I'm more bullish on for its size, right? For its value than Chainlink. Is very undervalued. A lot of people don't know what it is. Most people don't, especially if you're not in crypto. So they're connecting to the world financial system 100%. And they're not just connecting to it. The world financial system needs them to connect in order to on-chain to the tokenization of all assets, which is a $100 trillion industry, predicted by BlackRock in the World Economic Forum over the next 10 years, something like that. So we're looking at we're definitely looking at a lot of potential here. It's hard. I don't want to be super bullish and be like the potential is it goes to 1,000. I don't know, but I know it's going much higher. I know it has a lot of fundamentals behind it. Okay. Aave also took off lately, but I think it's going to be Ethereum that we see catch up. Ethereum always takes its time, and then it just starts to rip. So we're waiting for Ethereum to clear, still not at all-time highs. We're waiting for it to clear at least 4K. We need to hold that 4K level. We're not there yet. Definitely not there yet. Let me see. But we'll get there. I know somebody was like, what about Shiba? I really don't like these meme coins. They're trash. They mean nothing. Like they can collapse at any time. Dogecoin's all hype. I'm not interested. The graph actually has a use case. Aave is ripping. We talked about Aave. I really like Aave. Mark Cuban's in it. That's what got me into it initially is like, oh, Mark Cuban's buying Aave. Well, he's a billionaire. So I might as well own a little bit of Aave, right? So Aave is doing decentralized, and that's who Trump's administration was, or not administration. That's who Trump's what is it, World Liberty. That's who they're buying, Chainlink and Aave. How interesting is that? All right. But let's go ahead and look out some of these. Let's go ahead and look at some of these plays out here that we have. Oh, by the way, macro is so strong because just one of the big reasons is that oil is going nowhere, and this is going to be the black swan for everybody. The black swan of growth, which is if these oil prices eventually collapse, because I'm pretty sure the Trump administration is trying to negotiate more oil production with Saudi Arabia for some, whatever it is. Yeah, we'll look at Tesla. This crashes, it's game over. There is no inflation. Inflation is broke. The Fed keeps cutting rates, and we get a super cycle. We get a nasty super cycle if oil comes down, and it's going to be, the reason it goes down is because of supply, not because there's a lack of demand, right? That would be the catalyst. It has to be a lack of, excess demand pushing it lower. All right, we'll look at Tesla. Tesla, we got, see if I can move this up yet. Nope, still messed up. Okay. Too lazy to get up right now. I'm just going to leave it like this. So Tesla at all-time highs can really go stupid. Okay. Really stupid. Because this is another Trump trade, which is, well, the expectation is you're going to get deregulation. You're going to get, Elon's going to be able to increase, or not increase, but he's going to get favor with the regulators to implement full self-driving. It's going to be the first full self-driving. You got robotics, you got all kinds of stuff down the pipeline, and you really start to price it in. But once you break out of something like this, right? The last time we got a breakout like this, I'm not saying it's going to do a 10x like it did before, but you're at least going to triple. I say by next year, you break out, you're going to be tripled by the next year. You're probably at 1,500 by the end of next year, or maybe mid next year, given that Tesla executes the way bullishness. If not as bullish, it doubles to 800, right? Let's dial in a little closer. Why am I getting a call there? It's going a little closer. So we are very vertical. We are, a little burnt out. Let's go on the 4 hour. Actually, it'll be a little easier to see the pre-market stuff. All right. So here we got Tesla. Obviously the all-time high is actually like I think it's like 414. I know, some people had it at 416. I think it's like 414 where I had it. I'm just going to say the most important level is the previous level, not this pre-market stuff, but the previous level. I'm going to go to the 30-minute chart, get a little more clarity, zoom in a little further. So yeah, yes, or 2 days ago, the high from, what is this, Tuesday? The high from Tuesday is about 410. I think we're going to pull into 410 pre-market or on the open, bounce and move higher. There's too much momentum here. There's too much momentum. It's going straight up. So I would look for support around 410. Somewhere around 410. If that doesn't hold, then you're looking at 405. Then you're looking at 400. So somewhere in this zone is going to be that support for Tesla. Good luck. It's a monster. It's hard to trade. Um, but today it did break that initial support. So it looks like we're going to be consolidating. I think tomorrow should be bullish though. When I look at some other metrics, like this one, let me see. This is how many stocks are trading above their. I'm sorry, how many stocks are advancing versus declining, and this always gives me a reversal. We had 1,000, probably half the market, declining with declining volume. We had like half the market declining, and it's just this number on the left, 1,300. So usually we get a capitulation back to the upside. We're in an uptrend also. So I like to look at this, and it shows you for the past, I don't know how many days it's been, for the past week or two, this is the most weakness that we've seen going into the close. With that much weakness, I think we get the bounce. I think we get a bounce, right? So we'll see how Tesla plays off on that bounce. But I'm going to go back into the weekly chart. And just to show S&P, we're looking at support at what, 602 for the S&P. Get like a third touch here, 602.50. Capitulation and then higher, and then maybe consolidate a little bit. We're probably going to consolidate. We'll see. Fed meeting is going to be a little dangerous. I think we go back to the highs either tomorrow or Monday. Then we consolidate under the highs for the Fed meeting. Why? Because the market needs to get past the Fed meeting. We're not past the Fed meeting yet. Would you say also, I'm also a bull, Chainlink bull, curious your thoughts on Pith. Biggs, nah, I don't think I don't even think Pith is a competitor. I don't think they're a competitor at all. I wouldn't be interested in it. I have zero thoughts on it. To be honest, I haven't really looked into it, but I've listened to other people talk about it. And I mean, you could throw a little bit in it, but no, I think it's a waste of time, Biggs. That's my ultimate opinion. It's a waste of time to look at something that is not even competing with Chainlink, not even close. I would just stick with Chainlink. It's still small. It's not like it's humongous, like 100 billion, like XRP. It's very tiny. So, all right. I'm going to reset this because I think the algorithm just crushed me. So let me reset this, and then we're going to go to these other stocks. All right, there we go. In play though, yeah, we do have some stocks in play. Let's go to the in play stocks, right? Crypto's on fire, period. Crypto's on fire, period. Celsius. So we've been watching this for a while. We've been watching Celsius for a while. This is a trade. This is not an investment. Swing trade, long-term swing trade. I'm gonna have to close that window. Okay. So let's take a look here at Celsius. What are we looking at here? Well, number one, let's go over a couple technicals. Number one, put this in the middle. If we go to the weekly chart, you can see that we've came off of this support 20, it's like 26 from what, a couple of years ago. So we finally came off the support. This is our third touch on that support. I do not want to retest it again. If it tries to retest the support again, then I'm pretty much not interested anymore. This thing needs to take off by now. You can see the momentum picking up, right? Starting to go vertical. Not interested in it retesting that support because something's wrong. So we are picking up. We got the RSI momentum starting to heat up. We have a long-term support coming off a technical support. That's two variables in your pocket, right? Let's go to and then let's check these SMAs. I think this is the 50. I mean, we're way underneath them, right? We're kind of running into it. I'm pretty sure, is it Celsius? Yeah, I think it is Celsius on the daily chart. We'll check the daily, all right? All right, so on the daily chart, we have momentum heating up. Cooler, we'll check out Cooler. We'll have momentum heating up here. So we got this reverse head and shoulders pattern. Could come down one more time, right? Or it could just break out. We don't know. But I think we're getting past the 1 day 50 SMA. We just got past it. Look, we haven't got past that for what? Forever. We haven't been past that for a couple of years. It's been like 6 months. So, or no, it's been like 8, 9 months. We haven't got past this. So we're finally past this 50-day moving average. Now we could drop back below it, but it looks like we're supporting. We're making new highs, higher highs, higher lows. Now let's remove this and look a little more vertical. Now it isn't a daily downtrend, but it's in a weekly uptrend. We're still in an uptrend here, and there's a lot of analysts bullish on beverages. Okay, bullish on beverages. So short term, we needed to get past this level. I think it was like 31. We needed to get past 31, and then the next level that we need to gap above tomorrow is like 32. We need to gap above 32. Hard to see, I know. I'll put it here. Let me push it down a little more. All right. And then you can see it's kind of like a cup and handle. So I like this price action. I think it's going to blow up. Maybe not all-time highs because, who knows what can happen in the future. But once it gets going, I think this thing can really start to move. So that's one of the plays I'm focused on. Celsius stock, at least I think it goes to 42. We don't know. It depends on the conditions, right? When the Fed cuts, how does inflation come out next time? How does consumer spending turn out? There's other factors behind it, not counting earnings. I'm not even talking about earnings. I'm talking about this move before earnings, right? Because earnings can be nasty. You never know. So we're looking into January. It has to have some impulse, maybe to 36, 37. I'm going to say 37 at least 37. Okay. All right. I'm thinking rate hikes start second half of 2025. I love that comment. I think rate hikes start second. Okay, I'm going to be nice. Why do you think rate hikes are coming second half? What makes you think we're going to get rate hikes second half? Because I'm going to assume you did not go through the slides with inflation rolling over. So yeah, why rate hikes? Go ahead and just throw it in the chat. I'm watching. Why rate? I love macro questions. No, this is Celsius stock. We're looking at Celsius rebound right now. I'm not looking at commodities. We can look at commodities. Yeah, somebody said rate hikes in the chat, but you know what? Not everybody's up. They hear stuff and they just repeat it. We're not looking at any rate hikes unless there's some type of inflation shock. Inflation's going higher. No, inflation is not going higher. Let me show them the chart real quick. He's probably new. He just said he just joined. Don't blame him. No, inflation is not going higher. Where's my inflation chart at? Okay, let's take a look at inflation on this one. Okay, this is inflation. Oh no, I'm tripping. This is what? Oh, okay. I have it turned off. There we go. All right. So here's your inflation rate. I just want to show this guy real quick. Does that look like inflation's going higher? Okay, does that look like inflation is accelerating? Just use common sense here. Does it look like it's accelerating here? It's actually, it's actually shelving itself lower. It's stair stepping lower. What Celsius is? Celsius is a stock. It's a beverage. Never had it? Celsius is a beverage. Okay. So inflation is stair stepping lower. That's just the overall CPI. I mean, it's dragging lower. It would really have to flush up to get inflation up. Okay. Now, earlier in the slides, I know you weren't here. We went over the slides. Okay. Shelter inflation rolling over. That is the biggest portion of inflation is shelter. That's rolling over. You also have, I see you private. I'll get to your SMA question. You also have the leading indicators, the ISM. You know what? Just subscribe to the newsletter. It's free. So you can read the inflation stuff that I write. If you're new, inflation going higher with Trump economic. Okay, so you're expecting Trump to make him. That's a really good question. I like that. He's expecting Trump to push inflation higher. And that's a fair question. Right now, the trajectory for inflation is lower. It's definitely not going higher anytime soon. Okay, unless there's an inflation shock. So you would have to have the worst scenario. And here's one thing for some of you guys. Do you guys realize the last time Trump did tariffs, inflation went lower? It didn't even go higher, right? What a surprise. As a matter of fact, we can look at it right now. Inflation it didn't even spike. So let's go to 2017. Okay. Here's inflation in 2017 when he did the tariffs. Oops. Not 2017, my bad. He didn't implement them till 2018. That's when we had that crappy market. I was pissed. I didn't know what was going on. I lost so much money in a couple stocks because I was like, why isn't the dip going up? So inflation actually rolled over during Trump's tariff war. Inflation actually rolled over. I think they started March 2018. If I remember correctly, I do my research. March 2018, inflation rolled over. So tariffs are inflationary in the same way that cutting rates can be inflationary. It doesn't mean it's going to actually yield inflation because there's way more other factors. How do you implement tariffs, right? Also, tax rates. I'm sorry, tax cuts. If he cuts taxes, what's going to happen is you either have bad productivity or you have good productivity. If productivity picks up, inflation gets swallowed, period. Productivity is growth that absorbs inflation. So if Trump can get energy lower, and let's take a look at I'm still answering this guy's question here because I like the beginners, they need to know, not get fooled and stay out of the market. All of 2023, people are like, oh, it's bearish, we're gonna have a recession. Inflation's coming back, and it never happened. Why? Because they're being told bull crap from macro, and it pisses me off because not for them, but just the people, talking their books. Sir, if oil breaks out for some reason, then yes, inflation will start to rise, but oil is going nowhere. And we're going to be pumping more oil. So this is this and shelter, right? Shelter and oil are your biggest factors for inflation. Food inflation is not going to bring up CPI for stocks. Stocks don't give a damn about no food. They care about energy and shelter, the things that go into businesses and that keep consumer spending, right? That keep consumers buying iPhones, buying vehicles, buying housing. That's what the market is concerned with. Not really food, not beef jerky or anything like that. Okay, so the next one was we did Tesla. Let's go to cooler. Okay, this is a big impulse. I'll answer some more questions also about macro. Let me just get to these other questions. Oh, you ain't no expert. Hey, running grain 123, no problem, bro. That's just how I talk. I'm not trying to put you down or anything. I'm just talking to the people who always say inflation, that always say Trump's policies are bad because they think because they process the market politically. I voted for Trump, but guess what? I was bullish on the economy during Biden because I saw the numbers. I was like, no, this is bullish. You guys can't get mad at, Biden did the right thing. He did the CHIPS Act. He did the Inflation Reduction Act. You can't let your politics get in front of the reality of the reality of stuff. So, when Trump is saying something that doesn't make no sense, like deporting everyone, that doesn't make no sense. You're going to crush labor productivity. So I disagree with that. I don't think he's going to do it. I just think he's saying that because he says a lot of stuff. So we got to live in reality. Anyways, next question. Cooler. We got cooler, and then we have what some big beverages in the market other than Coke and Pepsi. Listen, Jenny, even though the analysts are bullish on beverages, that is not the best trade, Jenny. It has to be very much sold off for that to happen. Like the price must be depressed, but I would not go long any other beverages. I like Celsius right now, but as an investment, totally different than a trade, right? I would not invest in beverages at all. I would be long high momentum, high cyclical, high growth assets till the summertime. I would be long high growth assets. And Jenny, we're going to look at that. So just stay tuned. We're going to go through those. All right. So cooler. Cooler's trying to support this next level. All right. Let's see. Cooler needs to cool off. All right. We called it way down here. Demaj, I don't know where Demaj is at. I haven't heard from him, but we've been looking at Cooler all the way down here. Went up like 400, 500%, but I think it's up a lot. They're trying to do a Bitcoin reserve. I'm not interested. I want to see it crash first. I want to see the RSI at least get back on the weekly chart to the mid range before I'm interested in Cooler again. I don't know what that's going to look like. It's running up pretty quick. It probably is going to benefit from deregulation, but Cooler, I think it still needs some time to consolidate, right? Look at this consolidation. After this big move, it consolidated for 6, 7, 8 months. I didn't even count that out. I'm not that smart, but it consolidated for a while. So I think we need more consolidation before we start to rip. Could be wrong. Who knows? That maybe there's a new contract. But for now, I would say take it easy on Cooler. Bigs. If it touches $1, maybe you could scale in a little bit, but I wouldn't go all in. I wouldn't, this is going to $5. I wouldn't think like that. I would think stay patient, let the RSI reset, Let the momentum come out of the stock a little bit before you start chasing it. It needs to consolidate after this big impulse, right? So do I prefer the 50 SMA? This is a good question, private. I use the 50 SMA, but really every stock is going to perform differently on different SMA or different moving averages. For example, look at Tesla, how it responds to the 50 SMA. Okay. Doesn't really care that much, right? Cooler, well, doesn't really care at all. Maybe it does. I don't know. So every stock, let's look at the indexes. IWM does not care. The Dow doesn't really care. And I'd have to go through other stocks. Let's see if I have any in play stuff that we're looking through. DKNG, does it care about the 50-day moving average? Not really. This stock, support, ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. It did respect the 50 SMA. So every stock is going to react differently to the 50 SMA. We'll see. So every stock's a little different. Now look at this one. What is this? This is Southern Copper Corporation. I will be bullish on commodities once we get industrial production going, right? Industrial production is a reading of how much output we're doing in the economy, and it's still suppressed. When it picks up, I think copper booms, right? From a macro perspective, you can see that copper is respecting. I just call it copper. It's a copper company here in Arizona. It's respecting the 50-day. So I think you really have to treat each stock differently. They have a different identity, but I do use the 50 on average. I'll use the 50 average, right? On average. And also weekly and daily is different, right? I know Celsius on the daily has been getting rejected by this 50. So I want to, for each stock, I want to see which average they're respecting the most and then stick with that average for that name or for that asset, for that security, whatever it is. All right. He is doing his negotiation tactics, threaten the worst and then back off. Yeah, he's just, listen, at the end of the day, if we are going to use common sense here in the market, Trump is using tariffs as a negotiation tactic. Okay. All the crazy people who have derangement syndrome think, oh my God, everything's going to end. Bro, his ego is tied to the stock market. He will change directions quickly if the stock market sells off. Trump is worried or focused on how the market responds to his policies. So he's going to make sure that he does what makes the market go higher, right? Let's use common sense. Everybody's we can assume they're looking for their best interest. They're not going to do something stupid, right? All right. Same way Joe Biden reversed on oil. Remember, he wasn't producing oil. He's like, no, we're going to shut down the pipelines. Then he reversed because it wasn't good. It would make inflation go higher. So let's use common sense here. I'm not saying you're not, but yeah, he's just using it as a negotiation tactic. Hopefully it doesn't go wrong. It could. All right. Next stock. Waiting for ELF to come down, right? ELF, I also like because everybody's going to buy makeup. Not everybody, but the makeup industry is booming. You can obviously see, we saw I don't know if I can say the word, OnlyFans person making more money than NFL, NBA players. So what does that tell you? The beauty industry is always in a bull market for some reason. For some reason. So you guys should not be contributing to that. But because that's a degenerate society. But at the end of the day, ELF Beauty is going higher, right? It's going higher because it's oversold. The business is strong. There was a couple malfeasance in their revenue, and then they sold off, but they repriced a lot. I think they're going much higher than this, and we're headed into Santa Claus season, so we need a reset. RSI is a little overdone on the daily. Let's check the weekly. I want to see the weekly. It's getting rejected by the midpoint. Okay. It's not the best momentum asset right now, but I'm waiting for this to see how it goes. You can see it's getting rejected by that last resistance way back here. Not to say this even matters, but I would keep my eye on it. It's in a strong uptrend in the short term. I'm keeping my eye on it. The burst from the lows was strong. We were long this thing all right here. Boom. So the burst from the lows was pretty strong, but now it's starting to cool off. You can see it's starting to cool off now. Not as interested as I was earlier. Okay. Next stock. Well, you know what is hot is these data center energy plays, these utilities. So I think this is really going to take off. CEG just got upgraded by Bank of America. Very strong uptrend. Let me take the SMA off. I don't even use it. This thing has been in an uptrend, just trading higher because of Trump said it today, this morning at the New York Stock Exchange. He said, look, we're going to have to double the amount of energy that we produce just to support AI data center usage, right? This is one of the big data center stocks, CEG, Constellation Energy. It's over in, I believe it's in Maryland or Virginia, where we actually have the most data centers in the US. So I'm bullish on CEG. I don't know if he's on here. Vadim, he got long, I believe, here, and I got scared. I missed it, took off. I was pissed, but this thing has shown to be very strong, and it's not as overdone as Vistra. Vistra is the other one that was outperforming the S&P, but that needs to cool off. Where is it? Vistra. Here's the other one, and these are utilities, right? There's a bunch of themes in the market. There's so many different themes that are hot. I like crypto the most, right? But there's other themes going on. There's a lot of themes here. And this one is solid. This is infrastructure. This is data center, not data center infrastructure, but data center energy. They're going to benefit from the energy. So I like CEG better technically. Where are we at? CEG and Vistra. I'm waiting for Vistra to reset. Now, this was the buy over here, but it's okay. It still has its room. It's about to break out. It's about to go to the top of that range. And either way, it'll be up here for a while because Google's coming out with quantum computing. Data center usage is going up, period. The revenues will flow into these companies. UniPath is something I'm doing research on right now for a big play. Leap calls 2027. I'm not going to talk about it now. I need to do a little more research. But this thing is a Cathie Wood stock, and I think Cathie Wood stocks are about to go crazy. As an example, look at Twilio, TWLO. This is an AI software, right? So it's not necessarily just Cathie Woods, but it is AI software. All-time highs are way up here at 450. And it was, forming this big, gigantic, whatever you want to call it, flag or, reversal wedge. It don't matter. It's forming a pattern, a bullish pattern broke out. It's not even slowing down. I wish it would slow down. It's not. So Twilio, if you get a retest on Twilio back to the lows, that would be nice. Not to the lows, I'm sorry. Back into support somewhere around here, 103, 102. I just don't know if it's going to slow down. So a lot of these Cathie Wood stocks are moving. Tesla, for instance, Coinbase, right? Bitcoin. So I think it's going to carry the index and roll over into other names. And those other names are going to be SQ. I'm bullish on SQ because of also deregulation. They also hold Bitcoin. They're also a processor. So SQ breaking out of this gigantic pattern. Let's go to the weekly. It's a little more clear. So I like SQ also. I'm not long yet just because this RSI is a little overdone. I want to wait for it to consolidate a little more. If it takes off, it takes off. That's fine. Like SQ. See if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Trying to diversify. Any suggestions? Well, just keep looking. I'm going through a couple of these. Diversification is good because crypto is going to run out of its cycle eventually. It's going to top tick. It's going to run out of juice and it's going to roll over because it is cyclical and it's tied to interest rates, liquidity, and the momentum of the economy. So stay in touch with my content because I am literally tracking each cycle. We've been in this disinflationary cycle, which is the Goldilocks cycle for the past year and a half. And that just means the macro is strong. Growth is accelerating. Inflation is decelerating on a momentum basis, not a real level basis, on a momentum basis. And we're still looking at that. And the Fed is now cutting. So we're going to accelerate further. What else we got here? Oh, ZM. I like Zoom. I really like Zoom. Very good balance sheet. We'll stay on the log. Good balance sheet. We got a couple levels, a couple ceilings to get past, but Zoom is also implementing some AI stuff. I know they're getting more into B2B versus, customer. And I know a lot of people don't want to be using Microsoft, from what I've heard anyway, my research, because Microsoft would be holding so much of their data. They rather have something that's a little more idiosyncratic. So Zoom could benefit for sure. And it's part of the Cathie Wood trade. Tesla goes up, Zoom goes up because ARK goes up. And I think Zoom next year is going to trade above 130 next year. I don't know when, but I think it's going to get above 130 next year. Communications are, probably one of the strongest sectors. This is a communication software company. All right, what was that comment? I missed it. Any ETFs, commodities or energy? I'm not a fan of ETFs, but there are some good. I mean, S&P, VOO. What else you got? VOO, S&P 500, QQQ. I mean, honestly, bro, QQQ is your best bet. You're getting the best technology stocks. Commodities, no, because commodities are cyclical, and what happens is, because they're a part of the economy, there's an incentive to create more of that commodity. Therefore, it doesn't appreciate, it doesn't become more scarce, right? I want to own things that are going to becoming more scarce over time, not something that can be debased. Commodities can be debased, and that's why gold is so precious in history, because you can't debase gold. You can't just create it or find it. But today, the gold supply is abundant. So, Bitcoin's going to beat gold. I would say your best commodity play is Bitcoin, bro. Real commodities, not interested. There's some miners, though. There's some miners. I like SCCO, Southern Copper Corporation, right? But not, I don't know about to own forever, but maybe or for a long time, but maybe for a trade. I don't know. It just depends what you're trying to do. I'm not into commodities, though. I think it's pretty clear when it comes to compounding growth rates. The highest growth rates in the market are information technology and consumer discretionary, right? Those are your biggest compounders, by far biggest growth rates, other than crypto. Crypto is the biggest growth, has the biggest growth rate. It's not even close. So I'm not interested, but some people like ETFs, right? What's another ETF? Maybe you get the Bitcoin ETF, ITB. I don't know, but I'd say QQQ is your best bet. It's barely breaking out of all-time highs also. So, there's a lot of research that shows all-time highs build on new all-time highs. It's not bad to get, to be at new all-time highs is not a bad thing, because what happens is, if you're looking at all-time highs, look at all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. So you're just buying the dip, or not buying the dip. You're just going higher throughout the bull market. And then you never buy this because you're not buying any all-time highs, right? So this is where you lose, is when there's not an all-time high. When do you buy the gigantic dip? Anyways, we'll get away from that. That's a whole nother conversation. That's more so like fundamentals of, how to leverage in ETFs, how to be safe. I have a course on that I'm building. You can check out the courses, but we're not going to get into compounding interest right now. It is the most powerful force on the planet. And I'm just kidding. What do you think it will go to by the end of next year? What stock, Tyler? I am too heavy in crypto. Okay, you're heavy in crypto? Okay. All right, you're heavy in crypto. How about Tesla? Rare precious metals? Nah, Jenny. I know I'm just gonna say it. That's a baby boomer thing. The thing is, precious metals were strong in the 80s back then, and silver. Older people love precious metals, but there's an abundance now. Our technology is so good at mining. There's not enough scarcity in precious metals. There's just not. There's no charts that are showing explosive growth or dividends or any type of you got to buy the companies who mine them, but I still think that's a waste of time. That's my opinion, though. I could be wrong. It depends on your style, right? I think S&P 500 is better than metals and all that. Look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett never bought gold. He doesn't buy bonds. Not really. He kind of does. It depends if he thinks there's a big recession. He doesn't buy none of that because stocks outperform everything else. There's charts that you can find. There's charts you can find. Stocks outperform all this. Lucid, what's it looking like? Look, man, I'm going to say it right now. I think Lucid's going to go bankrupt. I think Lucid goes bankrupt. I know people are invested in it, but I just think it's trash, and I think it goes bankrupt. I hope I'm wrong, because I know that's painful, but I think it goes bankrupt. If not, somebody buys them out, right? Hopefully. CCJ, don't tell me this is a Mary Joanne. Okay, no, it's not. All right, I was thinking of something else. Camco Corporation. Okay, now the sun is in the way. I can't even see my damn chart. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me close this. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, not for YouTube. YouTube looks the same. Okay. CCJ uptrend for sure. Let's look at this weekly chart. I think it look I mean, to me, technically on the technical basis, it looks like it's starting to slow down. Looks like it's at a peak right now. It could be a nice little pullback. We'll see. Oops. Oh man, what am I doing? Did I just There we go. Okay. Fundamentally, I don't know what this is though. I don't really know what it does. Let me see. It is a non-energy mineral metal miner. It looks strong. I mean, it's a strong stock. I don't really I don't know what it does though. It's at all-time highs. That's a good I mean, that's a good it's a good omen. If it breaks to all-time highs, it should make a nice move. Maybe I don't know where it goes. I just don't know what it is. I don't think it's a strong theme in the market. For a trade, definitely not. For an investment, hey, maybe so. Maybe it has a dividend. I don't know. I'm not interested personally though. All right, what else we got? Hopefully I don't run out of voice here. Uranium. Oh, this is uranium. You know what? Okay, let's go to the uranium stocks. I actually made a little list of uranium. Uranium is a theme. My bad. Okay, I didn't know that. Because you could never tell by the there's so many different material stocks that I've never seen. So where's my uranium list at? I think I have it under energy. Okay. Um, these are uranium miners or something to do with nuclear, right? Producing electro. So this one's nuclear, SMR. You guys have probably heard of it. Now, I haven't done enough research. I just know these stocks have a lot of momentum. And this is all because of the AI. This is all about AI. At the end of the day, everything's an umbrella under AI except for energy storage and blockchain. That has nothing to do with AI, but all these do because you need data centers, you need more energy, so you need nuclear. So this falls under AI. As long as the big the hyperscalers, right? Google, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, is Apple considered a hyperscaler? I guess so. Nvidia, as long as they continue to invest their capital expenditure into artificial intelligence data centers, let me not talk too quick. A lot of these companies can benefit, but I haven't done a deep dive to see which one is the best one. So here's another uranium energy. Just check them out. I'm not giving any suggestions on them, not at all, because I don't know the fundamentals. I can look at it on a technical basis. I don't like any of these yet. This one's fairly new. Somebody told me this was a good one. What is this? NNE? But here's a couple you can check out. NNE. This is the ticker for this one. Oh, you guys can't see it on here. No wonder it's hard. Okay. Um, it's NNE. I'll just say that. Market analysis on the next year for Palantir. Look, I'll tell you this. We called Palantir in 20. I was getting Palantir a long time ago, and we were bullish on it. And I messed up, man. I messed up on Palantir for sure. But Palantir is when Palantir rips lower, I have a list every Wednesday, every 2 weeks I send out, which are the best value stocks you could not value stocks, but the stocks or the assets or the securities that are at a very good value that I think are the highest growers. That comes out every Wednesday. It's on the it's going to be on the dang, I should have had it out. The free newsletter. Go to Mind Growth, go to my bio, go just subscribe to the newsletter. It's free. And Palantir is one of those ones on there. I'm waiting for it to come back down. This is definitely something you want over the next 10, 15 years, right? This one in Tesla. I had Ethereum, Bitcoin, Tesla, Palantir, and Chainlink on there. Palantir went from $7, right? Back when we were talking about it. I made a video on TikTok, as a matter of fact, in 2022. I said, this is the number one AI company in the world. Here we go. 2 years later, it's up freaking 10x. But yeah, I think hopefully it comes into the 50s. I'm not sure. Hopefully it gets into the 50s. I just don't know if it's going to get there. For those people who want it, look, if you already own it, it goes to the 50s, it's not going to hurt you. It's going higher. That's a dip buy. That is a dip buy. Nothing to worry about. But yeah, I think it needs a cool. Hopefully it does. I'm not trading it. I don't even think you want to trade it. I think you want to own Palantir. I think you want to own Palantir. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of nuclear stocks. I don't know. But what I will say is another good theme right now, the best themes right now are software. These are AI software plays. Don't miss them. Don't miss them. Where's I have it on big data. Um, Obviously you have Google now with the quantum computing. Oh, we also have quantum computing. I did say we would go over that. So here's your quantum computing stocks. They're up way too much. Okay. They're getting shorted. I know they're about to get shorted right now, but here's your quantum computing. This one is RGTI. Let me see if this gets in the way, just so you can at least save it. Here you go. Now you can see the ticker. Okay, RGTI. Rigetti computing. Don't even know what that means, but you have this one. I think it needs to come down and consolidate. I would say it's a good trade. I don't know how much, if you want to get into early, I'd look at the market cap. As long as if it's below a 10 billion market cap, then it can fly. It can really fly. If it's under, 5 billion, it can fly. Anything over that, you might want to look into, okay, why is it up so much? Is it, I haven't done any fundamental analysis on these. All I know is they're momentum plays. That's it. What is this? IONQ. What did people call this? Ion Q? Ion Q? I can't remember. But anyways, this one might have some legs. We'll see. It's starting to pull back a little bit. Also, you know what? I need to message Mr. Bunky. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a meeting on how to flip credit spreads. Okay, I got to go to that meeting in a couple minutes. So we'll be there. Anyways, I'm going to go through a couple of these. IONQ. Okay, you also have QBTS, Quantum Wave. Okay, Quantum Wave. Ooh, that one looks good. Quantum Wave, and then we have QUBT. Dude, these names are so weird. Quantum Computing. So those are your ticker symbols. You guys have them there. Take a screenshot, whatever it is. If you're on YouTube, you can save it. I'm not really interested in investing in these because I don't know what they are yet, but I will trade them. There you go. But I will say this before I go, because I do need say when. Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a meeting in a second, but I want to go over Chainlink one more time because you guys are for those of you that are new, all right. You've probably heard this if you're not new 1,000 times. Number one, this is the strongest macro backdrop that I've ever seen. I've been in the market for 50 years. No, I'm just kidding. This is one of the strongest macro backdrops I've ever seen. This is why Bitcoin is absolutely exploding. But I think what's going to come out of this is a bigger theme than just buy Bitcoin. That theme is going to be real world assets, tokenization of real world assets. BlackRock is talking about this. They're basically going to shift the entire financial system over to the blockchain, right? It's not going to crypto though. They're making their own blockchains, and they need something to connect those blockchains. Chainlink, just like the name, link is the connector between blockchains. There's a reason why Donald Trump is buying it right now. You guys heard me right that are new here. Donald Trump is buying this coin. I'm not trying to pump it. I'm not trying to hype it up. No, I am hyping it up. But Donald Trump is buying this coin for a reason. And we've been talking about this for all year. We bought it at $5. We did a video on YouTube. You can go find it about Chainlink when it was down here at $5, which was a $2 billion market cap. Because I was like, damn, we're going to look back on this and say, oh, damn, why didn't you buy it? Right. So we're up a lot on this. I know other coins are running, but nobody has nobody has the same partnerships of Chainlink than Chainlink does. No other coin does. No other coin does. They're working with Swift. Go look up who Swift is. The global payment messaging system. Who are they? Well, let's put it this way. Whenever we sanction another country from using our financial system, we're kicking them out of Swift. Swift is the infrastructure for central bank messaging. Okay. And they do quadrillions of dollars of transactions every year, and they're plugging into Chainlink. All right. Not XRP. No. Sorry to hurt your feelings, but XRP does not compare to Chainlink. XRP, the banks are not using XRP. You're not going to see Swift or DTCC with any white paper or any news from their website saying we're using XRP. That doesn't exist. Okay. XRP is a bunch of hype. I hope it goes higher. I hope you make money on XRP, but I think it's going to get rug pulled at some point, or I think it's going to turn into a meme coin because central banks are not using XRP. They're just not yet. Maybe they do, but they're just not, right? This is actually happening. Okay. There's a reason why Donald Trump is buying it. It connects all blockchains. There's a whole lot of other stuff too. Franklin Templeton. There's so many banks, Citibank, that are plugging into this, that are using the CCIP network in order to convert from the old ledger, right, which is, you know, the digital system, over to the blockchain system. And they're going to need to use CCIP Chainlink to do that. There's so much here. It's very technical. It's hard to explain, to break it down in little bites. But just know this, okay? The biggest financial institutions on the planet are using Chainlink. They are purchasing Chainlink. Go look up DTCC. Go look up Swift using Chainlink. There's ANZ Bank, right, in Australia. There is Euroclear, which is a clearinghouse over in Europe. They're all using Chainlink. That's what they're partnering with. They're not using other coins. BlackRock, Vanguard, Gates, rest of the 1%. Sources, I mean, go look it up. I'm not going to throw up all this. You could find all this stuff on the information. You know, use ChatGPT. You clarify it. Elon is buying it. I wish, but anyways, Donald Trump is literally buying this. I mean, it's on the website. Go to Twitter and go look up his new. It's not like Donald Trump is using his wallet. It's his company. It's kind of a scam. You know, it is kind of scammy to say Donald Trump, to be honest with you. I was thinking about that. What it is Donald Trump has a. Let me throw it up for you guys really quick because I got to go. Donald Trump has a World Liberty. So here's the news, right? World Liberty Financial. That is his company. That is Donald Trump's and Eric Trump's fintech company. They're creating a financial fintech, you know, company or DeFi technology on chain, because the future is blockchain, right? Bitcoin is digital gold, but the rest of crypto is Web3. Everything is transitioning in the same way that I mean, I hate to say this, but in the same way that we transition from writing on paper to computers, we're now going from computer networks to blockchain networks. And that sounds like craziness, but that is the truth. That's what XRP and all of them are trying to do. But a lot of them are not accomplishing it, or at least there's not a whole lot of data or evidence for that, right? So anyways, go look it up. World Liberty Financial Partnerships with Chainlink marks as a huge step. So this is Eric Trump. They partner with Chainlink. Number two, they're literally buying the coin. There's a bunch of news online of showing their wallet, because you can see their wallet in real time. Where is it? Here it is right here. Okay. This is their wallet. They bought Ethereum. They bought USDT. Those are not investments. Those are stable coins. They bought Aave and they bought Chainlink, and now they're up to 2 million. This was yesterday. This was 1 million. Now they're up to 2 million Chainlink. That's not a whole lot, to be honest with you. But the point is, they are validating the narrative, the Chainlink standard. That's what it is, the Chainlink standard. Go do your research. Don't trust me. Don't trust anything I say. Go do your own research. I just want to, you know, say you had a heads up there. I don't know if this really outperforms Solana and everything else. I hope it does. I just think the thesis is much better than Solana. Solana does meme coins. They do a bunch of crap meme coins, casino stuff. It is not being used by the biggest players, right? Ethereum is legit. Cardano, nobody's even using any smart contracts on Cardano. XRP is a lost cause, even though people love it. I hope it goes up. Again, I'm not hoping anybody loses money. I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for. Okay, be careful. All right, I'm out of here. You guys stay blessed, eat healthy, lift weights. Make sure you guys are lifting weights. Keep your heart, keep your brain going. Don't overdo social media. I know you guys love TikTok. Don't overdo it. Read, learn something new, pray, be grateful, whatever it is, but stay blessed no matter what. And keep on learning. Just check out, just check it out. Just guys keep on learning. Hey, you too, bro. I don't even know you guys, but I love you guys too. Why XRP is a lost cause. Just I'm sorry, I don't have all the time in the world right now. I got to get going, but I'll check you guys later. Stay blessed more than anything. Catch you guys later. Building stuff for you guys to continue learning. All right, YouTube and who is it? Twitter. We'll catch you later. Hey, we're in the early innings bull market. That's all I can say. Early innings bull market. It's about to heat up, right? We're going to have a correction. I'll let you guys know when the correction is getting near because I am watching all the technicals and the macro to see when that correction comes. All right, I'm out. If I can get out, shoot. Oh, I still didn't end it on YouTube. I can't even get out. Okay. New features. Play